Hello and welcome to the Independent News Media. We're your hosts, Michael Rogers
and Tommy Crimi. First, we take a look at Republican candidate Ryan Dennison.
While Mr. Dennison claims to have found a balance between oil drilling and the preservation of the environment, our interviews with him suggest something completely different.
Reporter Maya Feilding takes a closer look.
Your agreement with both Big Oil and the Sierra Club suggests that your campaign is fueled by both money and is corrupt. How do you respond to these associations?
Well, I feel like with the two we need a compromise. Of course we need oil. Oil is what runs most of the things we do in this country. It fuels planes, which we use for transportation. It fuels trains, which we use for transportation. It fuels cars, which we use every day. Oil is something that we need. And at the same point, I still care about that air that we breathe.
Yeah. Environment is not one of my super big things, though.
Wow, I'm not sure I can trust a candidate who's not sold on his own ideas.
I agree. Mr. Dennison's comments certainly call into question his motives and integrity as a candidate.
We next delve further into Dennison's policies, asking him for a stance on the increasing issue of the Syrian refugee crisis.
What are your thoughts on the Syrian refugee crisis? Should we open our borders?
As the United States, I do not believe at this time it's in our best interest to open up the borders. So what I believe that we need to do is we need to deal with Assad and his regime, and we need to deal with ISIS. Those are the two key factors. If we deal with them, then there will be a lot less turmoil in that region, and you'll see people wanting to stay there or progressively branch out. But for the most part, I don't think it's in the best economic interest of the United States to accept as many refugees as we might be asked to accept.
I don't want to talk about the Syrian refugee crisis.
Once again, Mr. Dennison's motivation called into question.
In our interview with Lauren O'Neill, she outlines her ideas regarding both legal and illegal immigration.
What new policies would you implement for regulating illegal immigration?
Illegal immigration.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that we need to expedite the process concerning legal immigration because there are stories of it taking years and years, and for people that are trying to get into this country fairly, that doesn't seem very fair to them, especially when on the flip side it's so easy to just come across the border. We do need to up our border patrol if we're trying to combat illegal immigration.
While many may take a similar stance, O'Neill fails to provide a concrete and effective plan.
Next, she provides her opinion on the topic of anchor babies.
All right, what is your stance on anchor babies?
Anchor babies. I can understand why parents would have them. I mean, we do live in a wonderful nation where there are very many rights and a lot more protection for this average citizen. But despite the fact that it is in the Constitution, it is a right. If you are born in this country, you're a citizen. How is it for us to say that it's okay for that family to stay when it's the child that is the citizen?
O'Neill seems confused as to what she believes to be a legal or illegal citizen.
While she says that a child born in U.S. soil should be extended citizenship, she does not believe that the family should not be extended the same privilege.
While an idea like this is good in theory, it would likely leave many children abandoned and sentenced to life as orphans.
O'Neill adopts similar problematic ideas regarding her stance on the Syrian refugee crisis.
What is your opinion on the Syrian refugee crisis, and what would you do to change, what is your reaction to it, and should we open up our borders or should we close them?
I do feel for the people of Syria, and I do think that we need to help them in whatever way we can, but our economy can't sustain people living here in such great numbers.
This seems suspect, as our immigration policies called for expedited legal immigration.
If our economy cannot handle a flood of legal Syrian refugees, how does she expect to handle a large influx of immigrants?
Next, reporter Monica Magdaleno sits down with Anthony Elwers, a third-party candidate.
With such little funding and support, only, what was it, $2 million that you got? Are you finding difficulty in running your campaign?
No, I'm not. I mean, it shows I'm not corrupt. The only thing I'm funded by is unions. And $2 million is not that much money. And I'm making do. So, I mean, if I can make do with $2 million, what can I do with the entire national budget, right?
Unlike the other two candidates, Elwers is largely unaffected by financial bias.
Next, we get Anthony's take on the crisis in Syria and how he would handle the situation differently from the other two candidates.
Oh. Yeah, okay. Some important issues come into play, that are concerning the nation, such as the Syrian crisis. Where do you stand on that?
The Syrian crisis, I feel like it's a complex situation that needs to be more looked into in depth with our allies that are in the area, like Israel and Turkey, the ones that know the area better than we do. It's a geopolitical just quagmire essentially in the area, and we need to look into it more from their point of view because they would know more about the situation that's going on there than we would.
It seems like Elwers is the only candidate with a clearly outlined plan.
Agreed. Next, Monica sits down with representatives from the NEA and Auto Workers Union.
Can you tell me your logic behind fully backing the presidential candidate, Lauren O'Neill, in this upcoming election?
Well, it's pure and simple here. She was the best one available. She allowed me a lot of opportunities. I am a teacher, and I'm at the organization with the teachers, and she raised our pay.
Seems suspicious, almost as if she's buying her votes.
You know, Michael, a few new textbooks and computers could go a long way in garnering support for her campaign.
Would you tell me a little bit about which candidate you are supporting the most and why?
I supported Lauren O'Neill the most because her policies definitely fit what I'm looking for as an auto worker, and that she's going to increase the pay.
An eerily similar situation, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely.
Up next, we have commentary from our residential angry voter, Mark May.
That's great. I just wanted to ask, what is your opinion on our candidates for this year?
Whoa, Ryan Dennison is the worst Republican candidate I've ever seen. He is way too moderate. I mean, this guy is a libertarian disguised as a Republican, I swear. And then Lauren O'Neill, she is just a stupid socialist Marxist who needs to get out of here and go back to Russia where she belongs. Make sure that I'm not going to vote for either of them. Yeah, because Ryan...
Who are you going to go vote for, Mark?
Anthony Elwers, president.
Right. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time, I'm Tommy Crimi.
And I'm Michael Rogers, and we wish you a very independent evening.